It started with a whisper, a single remark in the quiet halls of Buckingham Palace. But what followed sent shockwaves across the entire United Kingdom. King Charles, the man whose life has been defined by duty, protocol, and centuries-old tradition, has reportedly done something so unprecedented that even seasoned members of his inner circle are struggling to comprehend it. For decades, the monarchy has been an institution of stability, a symbol above politics, untouchable and insulated from the storms of government debate. Yet now, the very foundations of that tradition appear to be shaking. Insiders claim that Charles held a private meeting with unexpected allies, figures who, until recently, would have been considered political outsiders, fringe players at best. And in that room, away from the prying eyes of the public and the press, decisions may have been made that could rewrite the modern understanding of the Crown's role in British politics. The secrecy surrounding this event is staggering. No photographs, no official statements, nothing to document what truly transpired. But the ripple effects were immediate. Within hours, the story had reached the press, whispered into ears at the highest levels of government, setting off alarms in Westminster and across party lines. The Prime Minister, normally composed under pressure, reportedly reacted in a manner that insiders described as uncharacteristically furious, pacing, shouting, and slamming papers on the cabinet table. A reaction that, according to some observers, betrayed a sense of personal disbelief. But why would Charles take such a risk? Why would a figure whose life has been devoted to maintaining neutrality suddenly step into the center of a political storm? Experts suggest that the answer may lie not in ambition, but in a deep-seated frustration with what he perceives as the slow erosion of national traditions. There is speculation that a particular document, circulated only within select circles, presented arguments so compelling that even a monarch bound by centuries of protocol could not ignore them. And while the contents of this document remain largely unknown, those with knowledge of the meeting hint that its recommendations directly challenge the balance of power as it has existed in Britain for hundreds of years. The public, of course, is left in suspense, consuming every snippet, every rumor, every carefully leaked detail. Social media erupted almost instantly, with hashtags calling for loyalty to the Crown trending alongside those questioning the Prime Minister's leadership. Comment sections filled with debates, memes, and viral videos, capturing the nation's emotional divide. Ordinary citizens suddenly found themselves actors in a high-stakes political drama, unsure who to trust or which side of history they would occupy. Inside Westminster, the political landscape is now a battlefield, and the tension is palpable. Cabinet members who once operated with disciplined unity are reportedly divided, struggling to navigate the unprecedented scenario of a monarch exerting influence beyond ceremonial expectations. Ministers whisper in corridors, debating strategy, loyalty, and the potential fallout from Charles' bold move. Senior aides are said to be scrambling to contain leaks, drafting statements, and carefully weighing every word before it reaches the public. The Prime Minister, normally composed under pressure, is reported to be unusually volatile, pacing offices and raising his voice in moments of sheer frustration. This is not simply a disagreement over policy or party strategy. It is a fundamental clash between centuries of constitutional tradition and the raw influence wielded by a monarch unwilling to remain passive. And as this political storm intensifies, the public is watching closely, consuming every snippet, every rumor, and every viral detail. Social media platforms have become a digital arena where opinion battles rage. Hashtags defending the Crown trend alongside those questioning the Prime Minister's decisions, while memes and commentary flood feeds with relentless speed. Ordinary citizens, many of whom rarely engage with constitutional nuance, are suddenly embroiled in debates about monarchy versus government, tradition versus modernity, loyalty versus pragmatism. The pressure on elected officials is immense. Every action they take is magnified. Every silence or hesitation is interpreted as a statement of intent. Political rivals, both within the Prime Minister's party and among the opposition, are watching for missteps, ready to exploit any opportunity to shift the balance of power. Meanwhile, the monarch's advisors reportedly emphasized that the meeting's content was strategic and carefully measured. Insiders described Charles' approach as calculated, words chosen deliberately, each designed to test allegiances, gauge reactions, and subtly influence outcomes without overtly breaking protocol. It is this delicate balance of action and restraint that makes the situation so complex and unprecedented. The nation, for its part, feels the tension acutely. Streets buzz with speculation, protests begin to form, and conversations in homes, workplaces, and online communities center on a single question: What will happen next? Observers note that this scenario has all the hallmarks of a high-stakes drama, powerful personalities, conflicting interests, and the unpredictability of human reaction. The potential consequences are enormous: shifts in party loyalty, public outrage, and lasting impacts on the monarchy's role in governance. And yet, amid the chaos, one fact remains clear: the story is far from over, and the next moves by both the monarch and the Prime Minister could redefine Britain's political landscape for years to come. The nation is now gripped by an atmosphere of anticipation and unease, and every public comment, every leak, and every whisper becomes a magnifying glass on the unfolding drama. Citizens scroll through news feeds, social media, and discussion forums, trying to decipher what Charles' bold move really means. Was it a calculated strategy or a misstep that could destabilize centuries of tradition? The contrast between the monarch's quiet composure and the Prime Minister's reported volatility could not be starker. While Charles remains silent, measured, and deliberate, the Prime Minister is portrayed as reactive, frustrated, and almost unrecognizable in moments of stress. This framing of calm versus chaos drives public perception, creating a narrative where composure appears synonymous with wisdom and impulsiveness equates to recklessness. Meanwhile, analysts speculate about the broader implications. Could this be a turning point in how the monarchy interacts with politics? Could centuries-old boundaries between ceremonial duty and influence be redrawn forever? Insiders suggest that the meeting was not ceremonial. It was strategic, carefully planned and designed to test the loyalty of political figures while signaling subtle but powerful intentions to the public. Every decision in the corridors of power now carries the weight of historical precedent. The Prime Minister's advisors reportedly urge caution, aware that any misstep could not only damage his career but also ignite a constitutional debate with lasting ramifications. Public sentiment is divided, with hashtags trending on both sides, memes circulating to ridicule and question leadership, and viral videos capturing opinions from ordinary citizens. People who rarely follow politics are suddenly emotionally invested, debating monarchy versus government, loyalty versus reform, and tradition versus progress. The situation escalates further as international eyes turn to Britain. Commentators across Europe, North America, and the Commonwealth analyze the implications, comparing current events to historical precedents where monarchs subtly influence political outcomes. The stakes are global because Britain's political stability has long been a model of constitutional governance. And in this charged atmosphere, every silence, every pause, every carefully measured word from Charles is amplified. While the Prime Minister grapples with internal dissent, resignations, and public scrutiny, Charles' restraint is framed as deliberate power, a quiet force shaping events without overt confrontation. Ordinary citizens, political operatives, and the media alike are left guessing, weighing every leak, every insider report, every subtle clue for insight into the next move. As the tension escalates, the public's fascination with the unfolding events grows exponentially. Every new detail, every rumor, and every carefully leaked report is consumed with the intensity of a thriller. King Charles, known for his decades-long dedication to diplomacy and measured conduct, now finds himself at the center of a political maelstrom. His silence is as powerful as any statement could be, creating a sense of uncertainty that forces both politicians and citizens to question their assumptions. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister faces mounting pressure, both from within his party and from the public at large. Cabinet members, once united in strategy and discipline, are now reportedly at odds, with some openly questioning the leadership and others attempting to consolidate power in the face of chaos. Observers describe the atmosphere in Westminster as one of unprecedented tension, where every decision, every comment, and every private conversation carries extraordinary weight. Social media continues to play a crucial role in shaping public perception. Hashtags, memes, and viral clips flood platforms, framing narratives in ways that traditional reporting cannot. Ordinary citizens, who may have previously viewed the monarchy as distant and ceremonial, are now emotionally invested in every twist and turn of this drama. The contrast between Charles' calm, measured approach and the Prime Minister's reported volatility further fuels this engagement. In the court of public opinion, composure appears synonymous with wisdom, while impulsiveness is equated with recklessness. Analysts note that the meeting at the palace, though private and secretive, was likely strategic. Sources suggest that Charles's words and actions were carefully calculated to test loyalties, influence key players, and prepare the ground for potential political consequences. Meanwhile, political operatives and advisors scramble to anticipate the impact, recognizing that every action could set off cascading effects across party lines, media coverage, and public sentiment. The international community is also closely observing these developments, drawing parallels to historical moments when monarchs subtly shaped political outcomes. The stakes are immense, not only for the United Kingdom, but for global perceptions of constitutional stability. Every decision, every statement, or deliberate silence is magnified under scrutiny, emphasizing the power of perception over action. Ordinary citizens, parliamentarians, and the media are caught in a feedback loop, amplifying tension and speculation. The drama is heightened by the uncertainty of outcomes. Who will emerge as a victor? Who will falter? And how will the monarchy's role be defined in the years to come? One thing is certain. The story has captured the imagination of the nation, and every hour brings new developments, new rumors, and new questions. The contrast between King Charles's measured silence and the Prime Minister's escalating frustration has become the defining narrative of this extraordinary political drama. Reports from insiders suggest that every cabinet meeting, every private discussion, and every decision within the Prime Minister's office is now filtered through the lens of this unprecedented confrontation. Ministers are said to be divided, some urging restraint, others advocating for a decisive response. The Prime Minister himself is reportedly struggling to maintain composure, navigating a political landscape that has shifted beneath his feet. Meanwhile, Charles' restraint is viewed by many as a demonstration of quiet authority. By refusing to respond impulsively or publicly, the monarch amplifies the weight of his presence, letting the Prime Minister's reactions define the story in real time. The public, already engaged, watches with rapt attention as social media erupts in debate. Memes, viral videos, and hashtags circulate with incredible speed, framing the Prime Minister as increasingly erratic while casting the monarch in a light of dignity and strategic patience. Citizens who rarely follow politics now find themselves dissecting historical precedents, debating constitutional boundaries, and speculating on the implications of the palace's next move. Experts emphasize that this dynamic is far from accidental. Political strategists suggest that Charles's approach is a masterclass in influence. By remaining silent, he shifts the burden of action onto his opponents, creating pressure that exposes weakness, inconsistency, and potential missteps. The contrast framing is striking. Every impulsive gesture by the Prime Minister amplifies the perception of instability, while every moment of composure from Charles reinforces authority and long-term credibility. Meanwhile, advisors and opposition figures alike are calculating possible outcomes, each aware that misjudgment could lead to political upheaval. The stakes are enormous. Public perception, party loyalty, and even historical precedent are all in play. Ordinary citizens have become actors in a larger narrative, emotionally invested in outcomes that were once considered distant or abstract. Across the globe, international observers analyze the situation, comparing it to moments in history where monarchs subtly influenced politics without ever appearing to intervene directly. Every decision, every word, or deliberate silence is scrutinized for meaning, and with uncertainty comes speculation. Will Charles' quiet authority prevail, forcing the Prime Minister into concession or compromise? Or will an overreaction from the government trigger deeper instability, reshaping Britain's political landscape forever? One thing is clear, the drama is far from over. The nation is witnessing a rare and historic moment, where centuries-old traditions collide with modern political pressures.